Chain of responsibility pattern. Chain of responsibility pattern decouples the sender of a request from its receiver by giving more than one object of a chance to handle the request. So basically, it will have a chain of handlers, and first handler, it will try to handle it. If it cannot handle it, it will pass it to the next one in the chain. So when do you want to use chain of responsibility pattern? Use it when a request can be handled by multiple handlers in a chain fashion. This is a bit easy pattern to understand. So participants, abstract handler defines an interface for handling requests, and then concrete handlers handles the request it's responsible for. Now in concrete handlers, if it cannot handle the request itself, it will pass it to the next one in the chain. So the next one is called the successor, and so concrete handlers will be configured with the successor. Okay. And client will send the request to the first handler in the chain. It might actually handle the request, or it might actually pass to the next in the chain, but client doesn't know. Okay, so let's take a look at the chain of responsibility pattern example. Okay, so here a typical example of chain of responsibility pattern is the purchase request. So there could be, in fact, we have director, manager, and president. So depending on the amount of purchase request, we like to have a different handler to handle it. So for, let's say, for $100 purchase request, manager should be able to handle it. So manager, $100 purchase request will be handled by the manager. If manager cannot handle the request because the request is greater than 100, purchase request is for an item that is more expensive than $100, then it will pass it to the chain. So here it will call successor and handle request, passing the request. Okay. And then we have director. Director will handle up to $200, and finally present will handle $300, and over $300 it will just say your request cannot be handled or something like that. Okay. So abstract purchase handler, so this is the one that abstract out the handle request. So this is the abstract class, and it does have abstract purchase handler field. So it does have successor field. So all these guys, all handlers should be the type of abstract purchase handler. Okay, so this successor has to be configured for each handler, and then there is abstract method called handle request. So each of the concrete handler, like manager purchase handler, director purchase handler, president purchase handler, will implement the actual logic of handle request. So if you go to manager purchase handler, you can see it provides the logic. The logic is if the request amount is less than $100, then it will handle it. Okay. Otherwise, it will pass the request to the next in the chain. Okay. And the same thing with the director. And same thing with the present. Okay. Okay, so if you take a look at the client code will just so it create the those instances of handlers, manager, director, and president handlers, and we have to set the successor. So manager will be set with director as a successor, and director handler will be set with the president as a successor. And then we are going to call manager the handle request method of the manager, passing $50, $150, and $250. Okay, and these are the purpose of the request. So if you run this guy, basically $50 will be handled by the manager, $150 request will be handled by the director, and the $250 purchase request will be handled by the president. Okay, so pretty straightforward. So the general structure is we have abstract handler, which is configured with the successor. It has the abstract method of handle request. Then we have a concrete handlers, and request could be just the class that abstract out the request. In this case, the value and string description. So it's pretty straightforward. Now the homework. Homework is chain of responsibility. So here we are going to create build insurance claim handling system using chain of responsibility pattern, in which small insurance company will handle small claim while it passes medium and large insurance claims over medium and large insurance companies. So this is pretty similar to the example we just saw. Okay, so so I want you also add a very large insurance company which handles insurance company over $400, insurance claim over $400. Okay, so the in this, by using chain of responsibility case, the idea is that you don't have to actually change existing code if you want to support the claim that is over $400. It's a matter of creating another handler. Okay, and your client code and other code does not really have to be changed. You don't really have to deal with the if and else logic in your business logic. Instead, you are going to create another handler. Okay, all right, so I'm going to give you guys 10 minutes to do this exercise and homework, chain of responsibility.